Okay, so I'm going to show you through the screen capture of how to use or do things for our final. I'm using a screen capture program that's not Captivate because you can't use Captivate on Captivate. Um, anyways, so I came up with a few things from reading the description of our final that we have to do, and I kind of cut out all of the other things that he basically said, if you don't think you need to do them, then don't do them. Um, this is the important stuff. So import slides from PowerPoint. Well, let's do that. So we need to get to PowerPoint. Let's make a PowerPoint. It's not really required necessarily, depending on what you're doing for your project, but it makes your project a lot easier. So yeah, I'm gonna do this one. I just like that theme a lot, and open her up. Here we go. But notice the size. The size isn't really good. I didn't like Nelson's videos that he did because they were really tall. And so I had to scroll up and down to see every part of the screen. And so I'm going to do mine so that it actually fits the screen a lot better. So I'm going to go to Themes, and here it says Slide Size. I'm going to do the widescreen 9. There we go. See, that fits the screen a lot better. That's what basically all screens are going to be widescreen. So there we go. We got that, and I'll say 504, I don't know, final help, whatever. So there we go. All right. Well, let's throw in some more slides. Just, whoops, not a new project. My bad. All right, let's go back to home. There we go. New slide. Let's throw in a blank one. Let's throw in a, I don't know, this one. Let's throw in some titles. Next, whatever. Whatever. And a bunch of bullet points. All right. So we have that, and we have our blank slide, and we have this, and so that's sufficient for us to do some stuff with Captivate. So let's save this as fake presentation and save. Okay, it is saved. Now exit out of it, open Captivate, and what we want to do is from Microsoft PowerPoint, right here, create new from Microsoft PowerPoint, just like in the Nelson videos. And we need to find it. There it is. And it opens PowerPoint again, grabs the slides, shuts PowerPoint back down, goes back into Captivate, compiles them, basically makes them into images. Here it's asking, all right, do you want all of these slides? If not, uncheck them. The ones that you don't, I want them all. Advanced slide, we want it automatically because we're going to put buttons in or other things. And the width here, if you didn't change the size of your PowerPoint presentation, here's where you can fix that, but you need to click the maintain aspect ratios, because if you don't, then it's going to look all weird. That's basically the same one. Let's change it to something different. No, not really doing anything here. Okay. Used to change here, but it seems to not. Anyways, here we go. So let's hit OK. Takes it a minute to make them into the images and put them into your Captivate. There we go. So what we want to do is now see what we have a lot better, since it's zoomed in way too much, and that's up here. So let's change it to best fit. There we go. So that's how you import slides into Captivate. It's pretty easy. You just want to make sure that it's already in the size and format first, so it doesn't skew anything later. Okay, next we're going to add in some buttons so that you can do whatever you want with them, and show you some formatting with them. And copying the styles. That's really important so that you keep the continuity in your project. So to add a button, let's go over here on the left. It has all these things over here. You're not going to use the majority of these things. Like, I don't even know what that does. Now, let's see. Not even telling me. Okay. Oh, whatever. Here we know. I need to click into it. Insert highlight box. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's probably easier than the way I was doing it. But there we go. Insert button. Boom. We got our button. Let's make it as big as we want. Make it look good. Having it over here is probably going to be a good idea. Yeah, green does not match anything, so I need to fix that. So over here is where I need to go. This is the properties. Lets me change the properties of whatever I have selected. If I don't have the button selected, it's the background. If I have this selected, then there we go. I can change the button. So right here it says the style is this default. I could change it to other things, but there we go. I want it to be this for right now. It says button type, transparent button, button text, image button again. Now I want it to be this. Okay. Caption of the button. Notice that you can't double click to change the text. You have to come over here to the caption. I'm going to say get started. Fantastic. But that doesn't really look good. I mean, this is a lot bigger. This is so small. So down here is the size in the character area. I'm going to change it to 25. It looks a lot better. I'm going to bold it. Looks even better, but let's get it formatted a little bit better. There we go. All right. And now color, horrible color, does not match anything in what I have here. So we could change it to these colors, but none of them are what I want. So this little fill, I mean, I could do gradient or whatnot, but that doesn't look good. So I'm going to go here and select that. That matches some colors up here pretty well. But notice it has this like green hue around it. That's the stroke. I'm going to change that to that color. There you go. You can see it changed a little bit. It looks a little bit nicer. I could just take out that stroke by doing that. See, the width of it to 0 disappears, or I could change it to be really big. Or I'll do it like 3. Looks good. All right, some other things that we need to do with this. I mean, we could change the font and all of that, the color of it right here, but the white looks good for my project. This is what it does right now on success, as in if someone clicked on it, what's going to happen? They're going to go to the next slide. So let's even preview that. It shouldn't take long because I only have 3 slides and they don't really do anything right now. So here we go. We're previewing it. Notice how it went the 3 seconds that it was automatically set for, and then it stopped because they need to click on this. But notice that when I hover my mouse over it, nothing happens. It's still the normal mouse. But if I click over here, I can click all over the place and nothing is happening. And then I click on that and it goes to the next slide. And notice because that next slide didn't have anything, it just waited the 3 seconds, then it moved me on to the next slide. So that's what we have, and that's what we're trying to fix, to do it what we want it to do. Well, I need to fix this button so people know it's actually a button. Well, over here, so we've gone to the go to the next slide. Under it says options. We can caption on success, say, oh, you did great or whatever. We don't need that. What we want is the hand cursor. So let's just look at it now. Preview it now that we click the hand cursor. And there we go. So same thing, click anywhere, but now look, I put my mouse over it and it turns into a hand. So it's obvious it's a button. That's what we wanted to see. So perfect, that looks great. We don't want to double click it. We don't want it to do anything else. You can shadow it to make it look pretty cool too. You know, that's a nice shadow, kind of makes it look more like a button. Sure, we could do some of these things too, but we're good. So now that we have this button, doing, looking the way that we want it to, in the position that we want it in. We can right click on it and copy, or Command C, Control C, go to the next page, Command V, right click and paste, whatever. It's going to go in exactly the same position. So notice when I click or go back and forth from these two, the get started is the only thing that's staying. It stays in exactly the same position that it was in. And so everything is the same, but I don't want it to be exactly the same. For instance, don't say get started, let's say next. So now it says next. There we go, that looks a lot better. But like I was telling you before, we could save all of this so that we don't have to copy and paste it necessarily. We can save changes to existing style. If I click that, there we go. So let's say we added another button. Well, look, same style instead of the way that it was before, when it had it green and everything else. So now it's that default button style. So anyways, that's how we add the buttons in. That's how you can get their styles. I mostly just keep the same button type and move it around the page. Like if I wanted it back, copy it, paste, paste it. There we go, I got 2, shove this over here, and now say back. They can go forwards and backwards if they want, whatever. You are going to want it to be on the same level, so if you notice there's a little green dotted line as I'm moving it with my arrow keys. So that says, okay, this is aligned, centered right there. That's nice. So there we go. So now I know that they're aligned and I can get credit for aligning my buttons. All right, so we have the buttons. Let's see what else we need to be doing. Well, we got the import slides, add buttons, copy buttons, and the styles. Now we need to add video and audio and remove the playback bar. Let's just do the remove playback bar. So let's look at this right now. And here we go. So notice that there's this playback bar in here. It's right here. I can skip ahead if I wanted to. I can do whatever I want. The buttons don't mean anything to me right now. So I can hit play, I can hit pause, I can skip to the next slide. I have, full control over everything. Well, let's remove that capability. And to do that, go into the top here where it says project and go to skin editor. So if you're in the skin editor, it has some different themes here. Like, look how this looks right there. Now let's change it to aluminum. Oh, now it's gray and whatever, chalkboard and whatever. So there we go. Now we can disable that. So if we click this show playback control and disable it, oh, it's gone now. Or we can do it, but just hide it during the quiz. We can do all kinds of things. So right here, this overlay is saying it's either added onto the bottom of the project or it's actually sitting on top of the bottom of the project. If you didn't account for that space, you probably don't want to do the play bar overlay. Okay, so that's what we have here. It has all the abilities that you can have on it. You can remove things like the fast forward and progress bar so that they can't really do that, so that they can still pause. So that's kind of important if you don't want them skipping ahead, but you do want them to be able to pause it while they're going through their program. But okay, yeah, so we have that. So let's exit out of this.